Okay guys, back again for part 2. What I've done in the short break in between is I've stripped down the Lama down to the basic shell, obviously with the servos and motors attached, but what I've done is I've removed the battery carrier from underneath, and I've removed this unit here, which is the swash plate and lower blade carrier, and the guide unit for the two rods that attach the swash blade to the lower blade assembly. I've also taken the top assembly off and the bearing carrier, which is what you can see here. You just have the bare shaft. I've taken the flybar off, and all these parts are sitting on the side over here and there, and that over here is the replacement head unit, which I will be installing as part of this video or series of videos. I'll move these two helicopters aside and I'll explain why I'm actually having to do this. So we flew the helicopters for a couple of days, damaged a whole heap of blades as I said before, and then I noticed that the helicopter, especially the Lama, started to develop quite a wobble, which obviously meant it was not balanced. But it also developed a fairly strange noise, like a rubbing, grinding sort of noise, which to me instantly meant that something wasn't quite right. So I stripped it down and I managed to get the main shaft, the inner shaft out, and I did a little test which I'll show you here. I mean, to me it looked bent, but I had to make sure. So there's a little test you can do with these things. Find yourself a flat surface and put the shaft on it and just give it a gentle little push and try and make it roll. Now as you can see, that does not want to roll very well, and when it does, it's trying to find a spot and settle and do all sorts of things. Compare that to the new shaft, or the replacement shaft. Do the same thing, and that will keep rolling for quite a while. And that to me means that that shaft is dead straight, or as close to dead straight as you can get. And that one there is really bent. Now that happened from a blade strike, and obviously the helicopter fell on its side and my son didn't stop throttling up. What it also did after a few crashes was, I'm not sure if you can pick it here, the flybar retaining unit, clips up the top developed a crack and then eventually separated. I'll try and prise this apart. You might be able to see that's actually separated, and it meant that it didn't hold this flybar on at all. And so when you started spinning the blades up, every few times the flybar would fly off, which was quite funny until it hit someone. It actually hit my son, which is at which point in time we said, well, this helicopter cannot be flown, it's dangerous, and we decided we were going to do the upgrade. Now, when we decided to do the upgrade, obviously went looking for parts, and I went to one of my favourite sites, which is ESkyHeli.com. You can see it over there. And to my great surprise and pleasant surprise, I found out that they've actually got the entire metal rotor head upgrade kit for the Lama 3, 4, Robin 22, etc. for about $22 or $23, which was an amazing price, considering that if I bought these parts separately, all of these over here, it would have cost me probably close to $80 plus shipping. So with a bit of help from the friendly sales lady at ESky Heli, Tracy, got a couple of kits on the way, and they arrived here in a very quick time. Guys, I'm from Australia. We tend to have to pay big dollars for all of these things because everything that comes into this country that's imported has a fairly severe markup. I tend to buy things overseas, and people like ESky Heli, xheli.com, and another favourite of mine, Chaos Hobbies, tend to be good guys, they look after you. They're not endorsing me or supporting me in any way. I just thought I'd do the right thing and mention them to the people in Australia, especially if you get into these helicopters, especially the more expensive ones. You can't go wrong dealing with them. The three ESky, KRs and X-Heli virtually cover everything you need. So anyhow, the kit came, got everything out. One of the first things you need to do when you get a kit is make sure you've got everything that you need to have for it. And I mean, you can always cross-reference by clicking onto the the website especially, and having a look at, well, that's what I'm meant to have got. This is what I got. Yep, everything adds up. Next, make sure that they're all fit together, because you can do a little dummy fitting of these things, make sure everything lines up and so on. When you remove the old parts from your helicopter, and I'll bring Comanche back in here to explain how you do that, you need to use these two arms, as well as obviously the flybar and the flybar link, together with the upper bearing carrier, and that's just about it. First part of getting obviously any of this taken apart is to remove the battery carrier from underneath. It's a very simple process, just 4 screws, as you can see, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and that pops away. And what it does is it enables you to get to all the gears at the bottom, and the retaining pin or retaining screws for the shaft, which I'll show you, is that little silver disc or silver donut shaped thing with the 2 screws sticking in it. Once you've cleared that, it's a very simple process. You remove that, the top shaft, the top blade holder and flybar holder pulls away. It essentially pulls straight out of the helicopter like that. Put that to one side. You'll see this, there's a series of screws. You've got 1, 2, and then 3, 4 underneath. You undo them. You remove the 2 servo links for your 2 servos at the back, and then the entire swash blade and lower blade holder pulls straight out. It just pops out as one unit. That entire section over there just pulls straight up over the shaft. That's how it sits, it just pulls straight out. And you've stripped your helicopter. Then what you need to do is obviously separate and take these 2 arms off, because you need to use them. Take the flybar off and put it aside, and make sure that you've got your bearing and upper bearing carrier ready to be used again. That's about it for now, guys. In part 3 I'll go into the assembly and what we need to do to put everything back together and upgrade the helicopter to the shiny new CNC aluminium parts that I've got over there.